I had a few words that I wanted to say to everybody before we moved on, and I didn't want the service to be really long because Mama didn't want, that. But there are a few things that I really wanted to say. First of all, it's not lost on me the lengths that some of us had to come to be here. And the fact that you're here, this church has been a gathering place for my family for generations. We've said goodbye to a lot of generations here. So thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. And Pastor, thank you for letting us come in. Again, there are a few very specific things I'd like to say if you would indulge me. Like you've heard, my mom's life happened in specific phases that we always talk about. And each child got to see a different mom in a different phase. Let's go through them together, shall we? Phase 1, happy, blissful, young, 19, I just had a baby. She was a Navy's man's wife, living in Jacksonville, Florida, with a new baby, blissful. That was Darlene's phase. 60s and 70s, we move on into what I like to call the trophy wife stage. She was a socialite. This is when Daddy started really traveling, having parties. What do you call it when you entertaining, like for guests and vendors. Dang it, losing my word. Hosting. She hosted a lot of parties. So I call it the trophy wife stage, socialite, hostess, world travel. That was Donna and Clay's phase. Like they got that whole phase. I came really late. I was born in 70. About the 80s, I don't know if any of y'all are in oil. It was a very confusing and hard time for my family. Oil was down. My dad was way overqualified to do anything that he had been doing for his whole life. It was a hard time. Larry said something one time. He knew Daddy when he called it the Midas touch. Everything he touched turned to gold. He was successful in everything. This dark times that I talk about was the exact opposite of that. We just couldn't seem to catch that next grasp. It was a hard time, lots of depression. Just, everybody goes through them. We all have our ups and downs. So the one I want to say is Darlene. She was the oldest, and she was unique from the rest of us because she was there for every single phase. Donna Ray Clay and I got 1 or 2 phases of her life. Sometimes she was a spectator. Sometimes she was pulled into the whirlwind of Mom's life. And their relationship was volatile. She was the oldest. I know I'm hardest on mine. It's hard sometimes to watch them love their own because you're seeing yourself, and that's hard to watch, right? Darlene, you took a job that you never wanted to take. Mom and you were like magnets with reverse polarity. Sometimes you couldn't stay away, and sometimes they couldn't be in the same room. But they always came back together with that magnetic polarity. She could never stay away. And the fact that you were geographically, thank you, close is only part of why Mom chose you to be the executor and all of the things. You say that, but that's only part of it. Mom chose you and trusted you because she knew that you would agonize over every single decision, that you would overthink it, that you would think of every possible scenario to make what's best for her. She knew that. She knew that's your personality. That's why you were in charge. And I want you to know in front of everybody right here, we all see you. We see everything. And no one could have done a better job. So thank you. One of the decisions that Darlene made was to give Mom a companion when she entered into managed care. She was going from independent care to assisted living, and it's scared. We didn't want to be alone. We didn't want to be scared. And she chose her daughter, Erin, to be a companion for my mom. It was only supposed to be for about a month, just to make sure she made the transition. What happened is that she found a best friend. Erin was there for her from then on. They were inseparable. I can't even express in words the amount of angst that took away from us. Thank you for being not only her granddaughter, but her very best friend. And we see you. We see everything you did. We love you. Okay, one last thing. My mom left a legacy. Pastor Mike said, he had no idea that we had such a big family. Guess what? Neither did we. We were raised, and I'm quite telling you, literally in different countries. I was raised in Singapore. Darlene and Clay and Donna were raised mostly in Venezuela, South America, and Canada. We're not used to being close. We never have. By the time I was 8, I was an only child. We don't understand that familial bond that you may have a sister or brother and understand it. We never have understood it. We've raised our children very independent. I have a way, I always told my kids, you're not supposed to stay home. You're supposed to go. You're supposed to travel. Because that's what Mama taught me. You're not supposed to be in town. Leave, you know what goes on here. Leave. Go find out what goes on out there. So what I want to say is grandmother's death, JoJo's death, closes a door on a generation. A whole generation. Darlene and Donna and Clay and myself are now, oh my gosh, the older generation. We have taken the place. Yeah.
Darlene's the oldest.
Yes, by the way, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of the older generation. But what I want to say is, our children, Brett, Aaron, Kat, Clay, Julie, Carson, Kyle, Kiefer, Axel. It's an opportunity for you to build something that we could not build simply because we didn't have the tools. What we experienced yesterday at the lake was amazing, and it's not happened before. I don't want to over-exaggerate, but our family with all of these grandchildren have not been in the same room, and I'm not exaggerating, for years. It's been more than 10, 20 years, and here we are. It's the magnetic polarity. You can't help it. We're always going to come back together whether you like it or not, right? So what I want to say is I would like to ask you now, in honor of this passing generation, to honor the coming generation, your children. Let them know each other. And don't let our family separate you lost to time, like some do. We all have the magnetic polarity, whether you like it or not. Let's honor it, make the time to get to know each other, and create bonds. And it's up to you now. And that's what I have to say about that. Okay. There are 2 songs that were my mom's favorite. Amazing Grace was one. In the Garden was one. And I don't remember the joke, but does anybody know God's name? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to tell the joke? I don't remember the exact joke, but it was like, I'll give you a free drink if you can tell me God's name. The guy was like, well, everybody knows that. God's name is Andy. He said, what? Andy? Yeah. Andy walks with me, Andy talks. So guess what we're going to sing, y'all? We are going to sing the first and the third, and Axel's going to accompany us. And we have practiced for this long. But if you will allow us, do you want to?
What's the number?
314. I come to the garden alone, while you is still on the roses, and the voice I hear calling on my Axle. This is Axle's idea. So it's weird. I have to at least say it. My speech was not part of his choice of this song. And I'm just going to say that, and you can see if you see an ironic connection. Yeah, thank you.
When you surely dawn, I was happy and free. I look for my friends, but never could find them. I found they were all strangers to me. Everybody I met seemed to be a stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see. They knew not my name, knew not their faces. I found they were all strangers to me. They've all moved away, said the voice of a stranger, to a beautiful home by the bright crystal sea. Some beautiful day, I'll meet 'em in heaven, where no one will see me, a stranger to me. Everybody I met seemed to be a stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see. They knew not my name, and I knew not their faces. I found they were all great strangers to me.
By the way, it plays in Nashville. We can set up our trip there. Check it out. I'd like to end, we're going to dismiss to the fellowship hall. We've got cookies and coffee. Darlene and all of us will be in there to talk and tell you what's next on the agenda, where to go. Would everybody do the Lord's Prayer with me to end it off? Okay, stand up. Let's be off. Let's do